As we get closer to the release of Phantom Rage on November 6th, Konami's been giving information to some YuGiTubers and having them release details about the upcoming set. We've seen people go over some of the new archetypes that are being introduced. We've seen a few previews even of Maximum Gold cards. But today was perhaps the biggest reveal so far, and that was the majority of the Mutant archetype, which is a world premiere TCG exclusive archetype that is being introduced in this set. Now, there are 12, I believe, cards total for the archetype being introduced, although I may be off on that number, and I have not read any of them. So I have them all here. We're going to go over them and sort of react to them as we go. I'm hoping that the archetype is good. A lot of times when they do these TCG exclusive archetypes, they end up starting out kind of slow, and then they get support as they go along. Plunder Patrol got a lot of support, but I kind of wish they had given it more, because I don't feel like they've really gotten it where it needs to be yet. But obviously you have archetypes like Cosmo that were genuinely good exclusives, and then you have archetypes like Dream Mirror, which were genuinely bad exclusives. So this archetype seems like it has potential. It looks like it's primarily Psychic type, and I just sort of breezed through the actual cards as I was setting up the video, and there's some mixed rarities as well. So we'll jump right into it. But before we do, as always, ask you guys, if you are not currently subscribed to the channel, take just 2 seconds to hit that subscribe button. Would mean the world to me. Right now we have 3,093 subs, trying to get to 3,100 by the end of the month in order to start a giveaway for the month of November. That's quite literally 7 subs within 9 days. So if you're not watching, if you're not subbed and you're watching for the first time, you want to hit that button. Takes a second. Really appreciate it, and it does help tremendously. With that being said, let's get into the content of the video and take a look at the Mutant cards, starting with Mutant M05. This is an ultra rare Psychic. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add a Mutant monster from your deck to your hand, except itself. You contribute this card, then banish 1 card from your hand or face-up field, special summon 1 monster from your hand or deck based on the banished card. Now, depending on what you're banishing, if you banish a monster, you summon a Mutant Beast. If you banish a spell, you summon a Mutant Mist. And if you summon banish a trap, you special summon a Mutant Arsenal. So those are the 3 things that this can grab from the deck. Not sure what those do. It looks like it is a hard once per turn, so it's a Searcher as well as something that can tutor from the deck, but it does seem like it's a -1 inherently because you have to banish a card on hand or field, so we'll see if they have some interaction with other banished cards as we go along. Mutant ST46. Same thing, if this card's normal or special summon, you can add a Mutant Spell or Trap from your deck to your hand. You contribute this card, banish 1 card from your hand or face-up field, special summon 1 monster from your hand or deck. Same thing, so you banish a monster, you summon Mutant Beast, Spell, Mutant Mist, Trap, Mutant Arsenal. So they both seem to pull these monsters out of the deck. Leads me to believe that those monsters are going to be sort of the core, power cards of the deck, depending on what they do. And, of course, it does get you some spell and trap searching. So both seem like decent cards. Level 3 Psychics, E-Telly targets, obviously. E-Telly's currently at 1, but we'll see if they move it around for the list when the next list comes out to kind of promote this archetype a little bit. Alright, Mutant GB88. During your opponent's main phase, if Mutant Evolution Lab is in your field zone, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned during your opponent's turn, you contribute this card, then banish 1 card from your hand or face-up field. Special summon 1 of your level 8 Mutant monsters that is banished or in the grave. So you can special from your hand for free if you have a field spell, that field spell, and then if it's special summoned during your opponent's turn, you tribute it, banish a card from your hand or field, and special summon a level 8 mutant. So far, I don't know how I feel about these, like, in mass banishing. They're all going to require you to both tribute themselves and banish a card, which means it's going to be kind of playing with hand advantage. So I'm interested to see what these cards actually do, if that works. So let's start with Mutant Beast. Cannot be special summoned except by the effect of a mutant card. Your opponent cannot target this card with monster effects. Neat, I guess. It can't be effect veilered and anything that kind of pops. Each of these are hard once per turns. When your opponent activates a spell, card, or effect, you can banish 1 card from your hand or field. Negate the activation, and if you do, banish that card. Okay, not bad. Spell, card, or effect. If this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can target 1 of your banished mutant traps, add it to your hand. So I guess it can recur the card you banished to pay its cost. It's not terrible. Not really sure what else it does, though. Negating a spell is good, so it gives you 1 negate, can't be targeted by monster effects, so there's some utility there. It's a level 8, so let's see what the other ones do. Presumably all going to be level 8 here. Same thing, can't be special summoned except by a mutant card. Your opponent can't target it with trap effects. I guess it can't be impermanent. Other traps, I can't really think of too many other traps right now that are going to be anything relevant. Your opponent activates a monster effect. You can banish 1 card from your hand or field, then target 1 monster on the field, banish it. So this does not negate the monster effect. It just simply responds to it. Banish one card from your hand or field and target. So they're all banishing something to utilize their costs. Which just inherently means you're leaving yourself out a card. But the little monsters have to not only banish a well, I guess they can search. I'm not really sure, actually, how I feel about these yet. It's going to kind of determine, like, how they all come together. Same thing, if it's destroyed by an opponent's card, you target a banished mutant spell added to your hand. So they all recur different types. Alright, we got Mutant Synthesis. If this card is fusion summoned, you can target one card on the field, destroy it. Alright, 2 mutant monsters with different attributes, not bad. When your opponent activates a card or effect, you can activate this effect. For the rest of the turn, this face-up card is unaffected by your opponent's cards of the same type they activate. So your opponent activates a monster effect, you chain this card's unaffected by monster effects for the rest of the turn, so on and so forth. And it looks like that is a hard once per turn. If this fusion summon card is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can add one of your banished mutant cards to your hand. So they all seem like they're gathering back banished materials that you're using to pay costs, which isn't terrible, but it is also relying on being destroyed by an opponent's card. So, you know, if you have non-destroying removal, you have to worry about they're not doing anything to replace themselves. Mutant Ultimus. When a card or effect is activated, you can banish one mutant card from your hand, graveyard, or face-up field of the same type, negate the activation, and if you do, banish that card. Okay, so it's a Macabre, basically, but it has to banish a mutant card, so they activate a monster effect, you banish a mutant monster from your hand, field, graveyard, negate the effect. Graveyard means it's not, you don't have to necessarily do too much with extravagant resources. If this fusion summon card is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can add up to 3 of your banished mutant cards, 1 each monster, spell, trap, from your banished zone to your hand. So, alright. So he's a negation of any type as long as you have one of those cards in hand, which doesn't seem like it's too hard to get to. And then, on top of that, you know, he recurs 3 banished cards when he's sent to grave. I guess he's alright. I mean, I'm not understanding the direction they're going in fully with this, to be honest. Let's take a look at the spells. So, Mutant Fusion, obviously they have their own fusion spell. Fusion summon a mutant fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing materials listed on it from your hand or field. Okay, again, with the banishing, I mean, that's fine. It's basically a miracle fusion. If your opponent has activated a card effect this turn, you can use up to 1 monster each from your graveyard and deck as material. So, that's better. Definitely reliant on the opponent still in the way that, like, Triple Tactics Talent is, obviously, but that card has, you know, more upside for its use. But I guess if your opponent plays a card in response to something on your turn, you can then utilize the effect from deck to make one of these. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, it's searchable, so it's nice. It's just, they're really asking you to use a lot of resources from your hand and or field without a lot of ways to replenish them, and I'm not sure how that overall kind of comes together. Alright, Mutant Evolution Lab. When this card is activated, you can special summon one of your level 4 or lower mutant monsters from your hand or that is banished. Okay, that's really good, because then you special summon one of the little guys, you search, you can replace it with something because it does trigger off special summon. Once per turn during your main phase, you can place a mutant monster from your hand on the bottom of the deck. If you do, draw 2 cards. Draw 1 card, sorry. Okay, again, not bad, but no real advantage generated there beyond just sort of offering a way to mitigate dead hands. It's not a terrible card. What else do we have here? Mutant monsters you control gain 100 attack for each of your banished mutant cards with different names. That's kind of irrelevant. I don't think it's going to be too significant at all. So, like, it's an extender. It might allow you to trigger some of your other monsters, but I'm not hugely sold on it, at least not until I can sit down and look at combos. I mean, just on paper, it doesn't seem that great. Mutant Blast. Equipped to a level 8 or higher mutant monster you control at the start of the damage step. If that monster attacks an opponent's special summon monster, you can banish that opponent's monster. That's cool, I guess. Not bad. It, you know, gets rid of the monster before damage calculation. While this card is equipped to a monster, you can banish this card. Send the monster this card was equipped to the grave, and if you do, special summon a level 8 mutant with a different original attribute from your hand or deck. Not super sold on this one either, but I guess I wish it was a quick effect. Being able to cycle through one level 8 that it's equipped to for another is okay. I don't know that this will be great. And then Trap Mutant Cry. During the main phase, fusion summon one mutant fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling materials listed on it from among your cards on the field, graveyard, and or face-up banished cards. Now that I like. This seems like it plays really well into some of the fusions as we go through these. And just for the record, I don't think we got the effect of Mist yet, based on what I'm looking at. Because I grabbed everything we have revealed so far, and I did not see anything for Mist. So either I missed it, no pun intended, or it just hasn't been revealed yet. I know there's a few other cards that haven't been revealed, so maybe that's what happened there. But this guy, if he's, you know, it's a quick effect. You can play the trap, put this on the field, I don't know, like, it's not horrible. The trap is definitely one of the better fusion options that they have, but I really hope they get something to kind of pull them together, because as it stands, I mean, the art is cool as shit. I really like everything about it, but I am not sold on this archetype at all. I mean, it looks like something they have interest in, and E-Telly grabs something. I mean, you're going to play it like a combo deck similar to, like, Eldritch, maybe? I just don't see it working the way it's inherently set up, unless you maybe play some other psychic monsters. I know people have talked about Overdrive Teleporter as a possible option. If you're gonna hybridize this a little bit and maybe use these with something else, then maybe you have something. But right now, I mean, I would say I'm on the fence pending the rest of the support, because they don't seem to have anything that really pulls their plays together. And as cool as Ultimus is, it's a hard once per turn. So, like, you get that one negate, but you're not really doing too much else. And it needs 3 level 8 or higher mutants to make it. So those restrictions are going to be pretty steep, considering, as far as we know, there's only 2 level 8 or higher, although my guess, based on the wording of those other cards, is that some of these other level 8s Mist will likely be a level 8 as well, and I can imagine that it will respond in some capacity to a trap effect. So I don't know, what do you guys think? I definitely am intrigued by the art. I think it looks cool. I can't say I'm sold on it yet. Do you guys think I'm maybe missing some combos? Let me know down below what you think, whether or not you're excited for the archetype, what you want to see from it, and we'll talk about the rest of the cards when they come out, and maybe I'll just look wrong. That being said, though, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time at Love Shack. Bye.